Okay, so here's the plan. We had extended our stay by a week to explore the northern end of the South Island. I got a lift out to the airport to collect our hire car, and then it was back to the motel to load up the RAV and head south. The first destination was a place called Maui Springs, where we would spend the night and indulge ourselves with some spoils. The scenery was nothing short of breathtaking as we head into the Central Highlands. Snow-covered peaks littered the horizon as we pushed through numerous farming communities with a few stops on the way.
Hello, John.
Oh, Liz.
We are in the car, which we've hired, and we're heading to some hot springs today. I think we've got a fairly big hill up here, and it looks like there could be still some snow on the mountain. Distance.
As we make our way through the Wairau Valley, on the edge of the road is this water trough. A windmill, tank and trough were erected at this site at March Burn in 1916. The original trough is still in place, however, I would suggest that the windmill has been replaced at some point.
And there's the water trough.
So a few weeks ago out here they got smashed with some heavy rains, and as a result, because the place is so hilly, there's been stacks of landslides, and here's a good example of it. So all along the edge of this highway, we're seeing bits and pieces like this. When we were up in Endeavour Sounds a couple of days ago, it was very, very similar through the national park. In fact, it's closed some of the tracks. The hills actually collapsed down onto the track. So they've got a fair bit of work to do. Someone actually told us they spent something like $80 million to last year to recover it. And basically the whole thing has happened again. So, you know, they're scratching their head now as to what they actually do, whether they can re-engineer some of the tracks to avoid this happening again. Guys, if you're wondering what those windmill looking things were in the paddocks, they are used to move the air over the crops to stop the frost from settling on cool, crisp mornings.
It looks like they're about to get ready to put some new vineyard in. They've already got the turbines to keep the frost off them, and all the logs there ready to string them up.
We're making our way slowly out of wine country up into their hills. So we're following a valley, and we'll put the name down the bottom because we can't remember where it is. Yeah, we're just starting to follow the road, follows the river, and it's absolutely bloody spectacular. You know, we are somewhere else in the world, I know, but this is just something that I've never seen before. The river's quite wide. You've got the rapids off to the edges of it, and some of it's in the middle, so obviously that's the deep part of the river system, probably full of trout. lined with the hills lined with pine that they're reforesting. So awesome, absolutely awesome spot.
There is snow up on them hills.
Yeah, there's a bit of snow on the caps of the hills. So it indicates that by every time we get out of the car, you feel it. It's certainly chilling down from where we were in Marlborough. Yeah, we'll just soldier on and work our way up through the valley. Bloody beautiful.
Once a neglected weed-infested road reserve, Cara Point's value have been recognised. This tiny island of forest is typically of dry riverbank vegetation, long since lost from the most of the Wairau Valley. It offers a last refuge to some plant species previously more widespread in Marlborough. There we go. The fierce lancewood is closely related to the common lancewood. Both are found here in this distinctive juvenile forms. Kauahai, the yellow flowers attract nectar-feeding birds like tui and bellbird during spring. There we go. Tui are common throughout New Zealand, found in forests and also parks and gardens for seasonal abundant fruit and nectar. Tui are good mimics and have a wide range of calls from bell-like notes to chuckles and clicks. Appearing black and white from a distance, close up the iridescent blue-green sheen to their plumage is visible, contrasting with white feathers at the throat, neck frill and wing bars. Their flight is rapid, often noisy, undulating, with occasional near-vertical dives. Here I am down by the water edge. She drops off fairly quickly. But it's an amazing spot. I don't know if you can see through that beautiful clear water how it quickly drops off.
Looks like more evidence of landslides. Well, they said that we were going to experience one of the most beautiful parts of New Zealand, obviously without going to Queenstown, but this just continues to deliver. It's awesomeness on awesomeness. Yeah, as I said, every time we go around a bend, here's another one. You know, the mountains just go all the way to the sky. This is sensational. That's a sign we're looking for. At least we know we're heading in the right direction. It was time for a bit of a leg stretch, if you know what I mean, and we came across this quaint little spot. How pretty. Looks like there's been some logging going on. Man, that would be some feat to get those logs out of there.
Says it's closed from the 1st of May to the 30th of September. The green patio.
Well, it's not long before we arrive at the Nelson Lake and the alpine village of St Anord. New Zealand's Nelson Lakes National Park marks the start of the Southern Alps mountain chain. The 252,000 acre area of mountains, lakes and forests became a national park in 1956. The valleys formed during the Ice Age and the lakes now fill some of the troughs formed by the glaciers. The forests are mainly comprised of beech trees with mosses and ferns near the forest floor. Native bird conservation efforts have also been undertaken and the great spotted kiwi has been reintroduced here. There are 16 picturesque lakes that make up the Nelson Lakes National Park and undoubtedly become the calling card for visitors to the village of St Anord. And many a visitor has been spotted capturing that iconic jetty shot at Lake Rotatui. This is the most accessible of the lakes for day trippers. Other lakes in the park can only be reached after long hikes, such as the Blue Lake. This special lake, which is also sacred to the Maori people, is best known for having the clearest water on the planet. But it can only be reached by those willing to embark on a 10-day hike, and swimming in the lake is prohibited. During the summer months, the trails are inundated with mountain bikes and bushwalkers, whilst the winter months, skiing is available not far from the village.
Sitting there. Catch the mice and the pests, the rodents. It says, welcome to Curve Bay and one of the main entrances to Nelson Lakes National Park. Picturesque lake and Travers Valley are the result of glaciation 12,000 to 20,000 years ago. The glacier gouged out the valley floor, creating a deep depression now filled by Lake Rotiti. The lake is 8 kilometres long with a maximum depth of 80 metres. A number of tracks explore the lake edge and forest valleys. The forest is predominantly mixed beech, although the deciduous New Zealand tree fuchsia or Kotakutu and native mistletoe may also be seen.
On we travelled. There was just so much to see. Next stop was Marawea Falls. we parked the car and proceeded on the 10-minute return trip to the base of the falls. These falls are the result of a devastating earthquake in the Murchison township in 1929. A landslide in the Marawea Valley diverted the course of the river, forcing it to cut a new channel over the old riverbank. The majestic 10-metre waterfall can be heard before it can be seen as it plummets into the deep pools below. A rocky open riverbed offers unparalleled views of this majestic landscape, close enough to curtain you with droplets of water, but distant enough to appreciate it in all its glory. They suggest not swimming here as severe undercurrents exist and lives have been lost.
Soul, hurt and fire and ice.
Then we were on the move again. Realising the time, we did need to make a bit of a dash now to our accommodation. This was not uncommon to see as we travelled through numerous roadworks where banks had fallen onto the road and others where the road had just slipped away. Well, we finally arrived. We got checked in and then it was about sussing out the place. We had a session booked in one of their private baths later in the afternoon, which we were both looking forward to immensely.
Yeah.
Pipe. Very nice.
Very nice. Nice little deck.
Oh, you can see the mountains and the snow on the mountain.
Look at that, you can too.
So, we have our little hot spring. Wow, look at this. This is spectacle.
First time I ever saw you, I fell in love when you entered the room. And when the light hit your face, we were just kids, but I knew right away that I will be with you until I stop breathing.
Double starting.
Thank you.
I will keep loving you as long as my heart's
Double
beating.
Yeah. Cheers to the New Zealand holiday.
Cheers. Whatever they say in New Zealand.
You are the one I choose. I wanna grow old with you. I'm nothing without you. I don't know what I would do without you. Even though years have gone by, I'm still in love with the way that you smile.
I'll do it this way. So we've just had our 45 minutes in a private hot spring, which was very, very pleasant. A little wine, a bit of chocolate. Not necessarily drink chocolate with white wine, with red, but not necessarily white. But it's been a lovely afternoon. We've come from Bleniem
Yep.
all the way through to the Murray Hot Springs. So it's a really nice spot. Just had a bit of a walk around and yeah, just show you a bit of the stuff. Very, very, very pleasant.
Very good. Very good.
Never let you down. Oh, hold me close. Promise you won't let go. I'm nothing without you. I don't know what I would do without you. You are the one I choose. I wanna grow old with you. I'm nothing without you. I don't know what I would do without you. Do without you. Do without you. You. Do without you. You. Do without you.
I set up the camera to try and capture a bit of an afternoon time lapse as we enjoyed a couple of beers. Then we got changed and enjoyed a lovely dinner whilst planning the next day.